Good morning, everyone. Once again, this is Black Forest coming to you with another market analysis video. This morning, we're going to be looking at the Euro USD. But before we get started to break down this currency pair, we have to state that this video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, okay? But we all know why you guys are here. You guys are here to find good, credible Forex content that can help improve your ability as a trader and help put some extra money in your pocket, okay? So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started and break down this currency pair and this chart. Okay. Now, as you guys who've watched our videos before we get to physically talking about what's on the chart, which is technical analysis, we need to discuss the fundamental analysis behind each currency. So we're going to start with the euro. Okay. Now, the euro has actually been one of our stronger currencies heading into this trading week, despite it's having some poor economic news. Now, what is catalyzing the strength of the euro is that we're starting to actually see good peace talks come out in good faith between Russia and Ukraine. Okay, they've actually had several attempts at peace talks, but being at how bitter they each side feels towards each other, they could not really sit at the table for long periods of time. But now they're actually sitting down at the table. They're hashing out, different things each side want to see. So looking like they're going to meet somewhere in the middle and make an agreement so they can have a ceasefire or at least a pause on conflict for the moment. Okay, because war is not good for nobody. There's a lot of people dying on both sides. There's a lot of people dying on both sides, and then there's a lot of innocent civilians that get killed. So war is never good for anything, especially business. War is never good for business. Okay, so they are coming down to the table. They're having peace talks, and we're looking like we're going to see something in the form of a cease in hostilities or a peace or a peace accord or some type of treaty agreement for them to stop fighting each other very soon. Now, these discussions heading in a positive direction, even though there's no committed action plan in place for peace, is causing the euro to get stronger because of the confidence that people see in these peace talks. Because one thing you have to understand about trading, it's not so much about indicators and charts and everything like that. It also has to do with a lot of human psychology. Okay. And human psychology in this pertaining incident is this: the war had people believing that the entire European economy, right, was unstable. So we had weakening, and that's what caused the initial weakening in the euro. Now the euro is starting to pick back up in strength because people are seeing that they're sitting at the table. So them sitting at the table is people getting more confidence in the euro, and now it starts to act as strong because people actually believe that these talks are going to lead to some type of ceasefire, and they believe that this ceasefire is going to bring back more confidence in the European continent's economy, which is strengthening the euro. Okay, so please keep in mind, outside of economic events and policies and interventions and measures, right, there is that human psychology of point of trading, which people sees talks as positive events and alone to push charts in directions up or down. Okay. Even if there's no credible intervention or action plan in place, people talking about things can move and dictate charts. So you have to keep that in mind as well. In case in point evidence is this: we've had very poor European news come out since the latter part of last week's trading week and the beginning part of this trading week, going into the mid part of this trading week. But the euro has been actually acting as one of our stronger currencies since the opening of the market to this point, to the mid part of this trading week now. And this is solely due to how positive the talks between Ukraine and Russia is. Okay. Now, with the USD, we've had a lot of positive news, the negative news, which is good, which shows that the economic measures and policies and interventions that have been put in place by the U.S. government is effectively combating inflation. And also, we see a lowering of the gas prices. A lowering of the gas prices means that consumers have more money to spend in the stores because they're spending less at the pumps. They're spending more in the stores. That means that the economy is growing. Growing economy means a strengthening in the U.S. dollar. Okay, so as long as that continues, we can start to see a long-term trajectory for the U.S. dollar to continue to gain strength. Okay. Well, now with that being said, let's go ahead and get started to break this down. Okay. Now, this is basically reflective of what happened since the start of the Ukraine-Russian incident. Price came down since they invaded, and every time we've heard talks are coming to the table, price will go up, come down. Talks coming to the table, price will come up, then come down. Okay. And then we had an initial surge up in price again once we started to hear about more talks at the table. But the reason why our price is not crashing down right now is because these talks are actually looking positive. Okay, so we did have an initial push down, started price starting to pick back up again, and it's looking like we're having another push down. Okay, but this is also the other side to that. Okay, America is actively trying to fix its economic woes and its problems, even though Russia and Ukraine can come to a ceasefire. That does not change the fact that the inflation still hangs over the entire EU and all its member countries. Okay. So we're still going to be looking at this heading towards the short side, but it's just having more aggressive retracement. Okay. So what's going to be the real telltale answer is this area here. If we have a push in price up this area here, we break this area here, then we start to come down pathetically and then continue to go up, then it's pretty much safe to say, okay, we're having price turnover. But if we start turning over here or here, then we can continue to say, okay, this is going to be still for shorts. This is just more aggressive retracement. Okay. Now, even though, like I said, the peace talks are good, those are just talks. America actually has actionable plans in place to combat its economic woes. Okay. And on top of that, it's nobody fighting America. There's no war on the North American continent. So we don't have that factor destabilizing our economy. Okay. So even though the euro has been one of our stronger currencies coming into this week, eventually it's going to drop and lose that steam. And especially if we don't start to see actionable plans in place from these talks. But as far as it going against the USD in this situation, as the USD continues to pick up in strength, you're going to see a further dropping in the euro. We could drop as far as here or even here or get back to this level here before we start to see a pickup in price again. Okay, but if we break past this area here, have a pathetic push down, then continue up, then we could pretty much safely say we're in price turnover territory. But more likely scenario is that we're going to probably pick up a little bit here, drop as low as this area here, drop as low as this area here, or drop as low as this area here. Okay. I hope that information was helpful for you guys. Happy trading.